Is my audio good? You guys hear me?
Hello, Shayla.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. I'm connected with my phone for audio. Just making sure.
Oh, sounds good. Yeah, I was having trouble like joining for whatever reason. It's on my own meeting.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Hello, Linda.
Hi, Julian.
So we'll just wait a couple more minutes to see if anybody else would like to join.
Chef, your office is looking empty.
Yeah, I downsized, a couple hundred books.
Nice.
And do you know what? I ended up putting most of them out on a table for students, faculty, anyone who wanted them, and they were gone within a week.
And you didn't let me know? Those are throw-in words, Chef.
As I like to say, I can't get my students to read the textbook, but they seem to like to pick up free books.
That's good. I can't be too mad at getting me pinning stuff tomorrow. So
Pam, just while we're about it, will you be stopping by this evening for pins, spreading board?
Oh, do you want me to come today? I thought I was coming tomorrow. Today works fine though.
Okay, either is fine.
I'll just come today. I'm off at 4:30. I'll call you and I'm on my way.
Good.
Let me. Is your cell phone number still 607-372-5174?
Yes,
Okay, I'll call that number when I'm leaving, sometime between 4 and 4:30.
good.
Okay, so I guess we'll just get started. It doesn't seem like anybody else will be joining us. So I'm gonna pull up the agenda here. So I was thinking about having some sort of a quorum, but it doesn't seem like we would need a quorum for the Shade Tree Commission. The quorum really, we applied that to the Planning Commission and Zoning Boards meetings to gauge that if we would have a meeting or not. But with like Shade Tree Commission, it's really we're just like an advisory board. We would advise on anything to do with landscaping for the prospective applicants. So I feel like we don't necessarily need to have a quorum as long as we have, about 3 or 4 members present. I'm sure we can give some sort of advice for prospective applicants. So in that regards, attendance. We don't know how to meet the requirements for a quorum, which would be 4 member at least 4 members present. Out of I believe we have 7 members, if I'm not wrong. So ideally, I would just take out the roll call aspect. I can just jot down the people I do see in the meeting, and put the people who are present and who are not present in the meeting minutes template moving forward. Our next meeting is scheduled for November 12th, second Tuesday. So at the last meeting, we determined that moving forward, we'll likely do meeting every second Tuesday. That sort of aligns with some of the other meetings. I know I couldn't be there on the first Tuesdays because it sort of has a conflict with the card commission meeting, and I had to go down in the city hall or the council chamber, sorry. So I couldn't do that time. So we sort of just determined that every second Tuesday, if people could make it, and again I would send out an email a week or 2 weeks ahead, just to sort of gauge interest on if everybody can make it. Um, So our only case, really, the site plan review for the planning commission meeting that's taking place tonight is for Travis Avenue. I'm not sure if everybody had a chance to take a look at the basic landscaping plan that the applicant provided. And if anybody has any suggestions that I can forward to the applicant tonight, it would be appreciated.
Sure. So alternatives to boxwood. Boxwood has lots of pest problems. They're putting in 33 in a strip. And then there's a new pest that's not detected here yet, but probably will be soon. So yeah, you could find alternatives to boxwood. All the ilex species, so inkberry alternatives, and even natives. And is there no spot for a little tree in the corners?
That could be, yeah. I was looking at it, and it just seems like they want to do the bare minimum. I guess they could definitely put something in the furthest corner that's like away from even the main road. They don't have to do it up front.
Shrubs are not going to give you any shade.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
I wasn't quite sure how much is under discussion, just the part that is dark there, or parts. I think they own bits on the lower side, whatever that is, south side.
Yeah, they own the current parking lot. That's labeled on the site plan as asphalt parking lot.
Yeah.
They're looking to combine the two lots, the new proposed lot with the existing lot, so they wouldn't need to provide urban reduction plan per the code for the city. Otherwise, it would be considered a special use permit. But if they were to combine the lots, then it would just be like expansion of the existing parking lot, which is what they are trying to do.
I see. Just my reaction, kind of as usual, is box plants, shrubs are cute, and that's very nice. But we do aim to encourage larger trees because there's so much more the work they can do in taking up carbon dioxide. Is there any way they can fit some larger trees in? And then there's the whole shading of a parking lot issue. The exposure of all that asphalt. Whereas it was probably mostly impervious surface with that building that was on there. But on the other hand, they've got a lot of asphalt surface, and that creates the good old, urban heat, what do they call it? Heat. Anyway, is there any way they can crowd some more trees in?
I could definitely ask them tonight. Put it along with the comments, and I could also forward the comments to the respective the applicant representative. To forward. So I think they're presenting with their attorney, so it would be hard to sort of communicate that with their attorney, but I could definitely move along the comments to the respective applicant and their engineer to to see if they would be able to implement some sort of a tree rather than it all being just shrubs and box plants.
Specifically, I think, Shaylin, they could have a tree in that upper right-hand corner that says it's 5-foot wide landscape buffer, but actually the parkings, they're wider than 5 feet. They're aren't they?
Each parking space is 9 by 18.
That's what I thought, close to 10 feet. So maybe that's only 5 feet, but they've got this, the buffer on the far side too, so I don't, you know,
Yeah,
what
I mean,
labeled in the upper right-hand corner, there is 4. I think that was landscaping. I think that was a landscaping number, but couldn't they put one there? And what about one up, way up on the upper left side too? There looks like there's space there.
yeah, that could be, it's possible. I think the one on the upper left would be a little bit difficult because it's closer to the road. I don't know the whole, the engineering side of it.
Yes,
That, you know,
I understand that it mustn't block the view. But you know, the city puts things in 3-foot margins, in other places in the city, in the utility strip there, and so why can't there be something there too? I don't know quite what the stippling on the upper left indicates, but
yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I could definitely make that suggestion to the applicant, and hopefully they find a way. Either they provide me with a reason, or they can, find a way to, put up a tree there and put up a tree in the, upper right corner
uh,
of the lot. And there could also be possibly more, trees could be planted in the, behind the parking lot, so to say, right by the fence. Like there's a lot of space where they're not showing any sort of landscaping right near the garage, like the block building.
yeah. What we can do is we, of course, only recommend, but I would like to see the planning board actually make a firmer thing than can you possibly fit in some trees, but actually I would like the planning board to say they would like, they want the developer to put in trees at those locations.
Yeah, definitely. I'll talk to the commissioner, interim chair, and sort of, I mean, I can't really demand to him, but he could demand to the applicant that,
Sure.
they put in some trees and make it a conditional approval. Because this is not like if they were to, plant trees, they would have to show it in the landscaping plan. So what they would do is they would request the applicant to submit a final revised landscaping plan to the planning department with
Mhm.
the appropriate, location of the trees shown on the plan. So that's definitely something I can, I can definitely ask the interim chair about that.
Good. Thank you. And if they ask, well, what trees, anything from the list except Norway maple,
Okay.
and I hope there aren't any ashes left on the list. But my emphasis, by the way, would be large trees, not just little cherries or tree lilacs. I would like them to do some significant trees.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems like a good spot for some larger ones, especially if the utility equipment isn't in the way. And if shading out parking lots is a priority for us, then it seems
Yeah.
like one of the better opportunities to put some large ones in.
Okay.
Hey, sorry to be joining late, with Shauna.
No
Um,
worries.
I didn't see a plan for this particular property. But I'm just looking at Google Maps now. Has this already been demolished or is there still a home there and they're gonna turn it into a parking
No,
lot?
yeah, there is still a home there. So they got the approval from the card commission to demolish the house. And now they're just going through the planning commission approval process to, get the confirmation to actually build the parking lot. And their meeting is set for tonight. So, if you get any suggestions for, any of the landscaping that they've provided as far as species goes, or just suggestion for putting up trees, I could provide that to the applicant directly, and also to the the chairman of the board, to sort of make it into a conditional approval, to plant some trees. So, the applicant has to, follow the approval letter, to the letter. So that way, it gets implemented.
Good.
So pretty much
Oh.
that's where we are.
Okay, great, thank you. Because I'm looking at like the Google Street View right now, and from what I can tell, that block across the street, there's no median trees, and like the rest of that parking lot is lacking trees. So, my concern is that considering the rest of the neighborhood just have this giant, as Julie was mentioning before, like this heat island, that is just going to continue encroaching onto the neighborhood. So I think it's kind of imperative that they plant some trees. Like the house is providing more shade than the parking lot will, as it is. And I think it, again, as we saw in the last meeting, it's a shame that they're taking down housing to put in a parking lot. I don't know how that keeps happening, but that's the point of this.
Yeah. So, okay. So the thing is, for the last month when we talked about 188 Court Street,
Mhm.
So that house, like, there is some opposition because so that house is in the commercial district. So they're taking down a perfectly almost fine house, in a district that allows housing. But this house, Fort Travis, is located in an industrial district where housing is not allowed. So tearing it is a good looking house. I'm sure it's nice from inside as well, but this house being in the industrial is not allowed. So it's not, it doesn't pose a huge a problem, so to say, if they were to tear it down, because if they were to build another house by knocking down this house, it would not be allowed to begin with. So it doesn't pose sort of a huge problem compared to the 188 Court Street, where that one is located in a commercial zoning district, where another house could be built upon the existing house, where there is opposition from the public to tear it down. So it's just minor differences between the zoning districts.
Yeah, I think what Shauna was saying, and what I agree with here too, is that regardless, like a parking lot is going to attract more heat than a home will. And one of the main benefits of planting those shade trees is that heat reduction that they provide. So by really emphasizing the need for trees in this planning, we can kind of help mitigate that concern, especially when we're thinking about the ecosystem services we get from trees in the face of climate change. That heat mitigation is a really big one, in addition to carbon sequestration. So it kind of seems like a no-brainer to me to put some large trees here. And you're more than welcome to use that as rationale. I don't think comparatively trees are going to add that much to the expenses for this project, and I think the benefits are vastly worth it.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I agree. Thanks.
Was there a privacy fence going on this?
Yes, it's going to be
am I thinking of something else?
Yeah, there's going to be a 6-foot privacy fence around the parking lot.
Around
as a privacy, for the neighbors.
For the
So
along the landscaping area, or which end?
Yeah.
So
I think the landscaping area is going to be sort of within the parking, and then there is going to be fencing on the outside. So
so
as you park, you're going to be able to see the landscaping. Yeah.
That may be a mitigating factor in an appropriate tree, size.
Yeah.
And I also would say, it seems like they budgeted in having, I didn't count how many shrubs are going in, but I would rather have a few good sized trees than a bunch of small shrubs.
Yeah, I'm sure they could squeeze one in on each corner, but just the
yeah,
fence
if money's a concern,
fence is going to be a thing.
I don't know this. So this parking lot is for the Buckingham manufacturing plant that's nearby. It's for their employees, I'm assuming. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know their whole budget, what their budget is, etc. But I could definitely make a suggestion for the trees. Seems like, it's a no-brainer. Especially if you're going to be parking cars and like in the summer heat, especially, it would definitely provide an added benefit. And I'm sure, if you're the person parking, you wouldn't mind some shaded, areas in the parking lot as well. So that's definitely, I can, make a suggestion. And I mean, we could possibly, I mean, I don't have the authority, but, ask the chairman to make it a conditional approval based on the applicant agreeing to plant some trees, in the landscaping buffers. That could definitely be done.
Pity they're demolishing the house. It's kind of cute.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
unbelievable, honestly. It's really too bad.
Yeah, if it, I think like to me it seems like a, perfect house. I don't know if there's anybody presently living in the house, but uh, you know they're not supposed to really demolish a house to build a parking lot. uh, that's at least according to the card commission and their design guidelines. But this house being, like I said, this house being in the industrial district, where housing is not allowed to begin with, and this was sort of like one of those houses that was already grandfathered in, that came in before the whole zoning code took place in the city. It's nothing really, uh, practically the city card can't really deny the uh, approval of for demolition. So um, yeah, unfortunately that's where we stand. So um, we can only hope to make it more, as Dr. Safford called it, make it more beautiful and neat, going forward. That's the,
Yeah, absolutely. Do what we can.
Yep.
Yeah.
I put a link in the chat for alternatives to boxwood.
Okay, I'll check it out. Copy that. Did anybody else have
Jalen, did
any
you?
other? Yep. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm good with the plans for 4 Travis Ave. With the recommendations we said are good. I'm just curious about the 50% shade in parking lots. Is this a commitment the city has made, or is it like a loose goal?
No, so I think Dr. Stafford asked about it last meeting. So I asked my assistant director Tito Martinez if we had any of this condition previously in the code, and he said we don't. I believe it was taken out of the code because it was sort of hard to measure, like the amount of shade provided. Like if we approved an application for like a planning commission, for example, and we recommended applicant providing 50% shade to parking lot, it's like kind of hard to measure the amount of shade. So I think what they did is they put in the code to sort of require the applicant to plant certain amount of trees per. I think they have to provide a like a landscaping island per 10 parking spaces. If they were to do a parking lot, they have to provide one 9 by 18 landscape island per 10 parking spaces. So instead of doing the shade, you're just doing the amount of trees that you have to provide. So that's
All
like
right,
one
that
thing
makes
I was.
sense. I was just curious about what that meant. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. If nobody else has any questions, we'll move on to, I guess I put 22 Charles Street as a other business because so last month there was some miscommunication. I wasn't given a plan. I guess it was just presented at the meeting, so I didn't have access to the plan. But 22 Charles Street, if I can pull that up. Can everybody see this map for 22 Charles? Or is
No, I'm looking at Oh, it just went away.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Yeah, you're good. Take your time.
So this
We
was
can see
part
it
of,
now.
yep, this was part of the bigger plan that was submitted to us. And I provided a link, but I saw that this morning I couldn't access it either. So I just opened it up on mine to see. And this is like the general landscaping plan that, they included it in their, oops. Okay, I don't know what happened.
When is that coming due?
I'm sorry?
When is that coming due? When is that gonna be reviewed?
So unfortunately, this one was approved um, last month, but we didn't have the plan. There was like a little miscommunication between what was submitted in our digital storage and what they presented to us at the meeting. And this is a bigger plan. It was sort of hard to access. I think that that's one of the reasons why it wasn't stored in our storage. Uh, but I wanted to bring it in front of the STC just for any feedback or anything that you may have that I might still be able to forward it to the applicant. Um, they provided the species name, and I sort of like skimmed through it, and it's basically all sycamore trees and shrubs around the landscaping areas that they have shown on here. So if commission had any other suggestions for any other species of trees or anything of the sort, any advice that they would like me to give to the applicant, I'll be happy to forward that.
Are the sycamores already present, or are they being planted?
I believe they're already present. Oops, I can't.
Okay, sycamores are a great tree. They're native and large. If they're already there, that's fine. But if they're being planted, I would suggest more than just sycamores. But if that's what's already present, then that's fine.
By the way, sycamores are not usually planted. Usually they plant what they call London plane trees, which are actually a hybrid of sycamore. But I presume that's what they mean. They are a little different. And that's mainly in this lower area that you've enlarged there, Shaylin, right?
Yep.
Good.
A lot of them, I mean, a lot of the existing areas is showing that it includes like all the shrubs, shrub species. I'm not sure, like, again, not sure of the species of shrubs. It's just, some of them are existing areas, some they're, proposing new. So this was essentially the final plan that was approved by the commission. But again, I don't think suggesting a different species of trees will alter the plan in any way. That's just landscaping.
As far as I know, London plane trees have no problem. So so I kind of like it. I think if maybe they mixed a couple of others in, that would be good. But
Okay.
there's a lot of those trees planted around the city either.
Yeah, I agree. If they're already there, let them be. They don't, at least right now, have any pests that I'm aware of, and they're quite large too, so they're good for shade.
Mm-hmm.
If
I
they were going to
know.
consider putting more trees in, I would suggest not putting in more London planes or sycamores, just to increase diversity a bit. But
Okay.
I don't think they should remove any just to put different trees in.
Sure. I know in the last meeting I talked about, so in the future, they're going to acquire the land, I guess, behind the current plant to turn into like expansion of the facility as well as more parking lot. Um, so, when that comes about, I will for sure, uh, bring that forward to the commission here, because for parking lot and different species, if you have recommendation moving forward, that would be something to look forward to in the near future. Any other suggestions for 22 Charles? Anything? Any recommendation?
What happens on the, I guess it's the north side where it just says green area,
I think that's presently the empty piece of land that's behind um, the current facility.
When they say
That-
green area, is it just like mowed lawn or like what's
Yeah,
going
it's
on
just an
back there,
empty.
do you know?
It's a vacant piece of land behind the actual plant.
well,
If it's open space that could be utilized for planting, I think that would be great. I don't really see the point in just mowing it for no reason.
Well, he was saying they're it's gonna be a future
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, I don't think they currently own it. It's owned by the
Oh,
BLDC.
okay.
Yeah.
That makes more
So
sense.
in the future, they're going to purchase it to expand their facility as well as add additional parking spaces for their employees.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I missed that part before. That makes sense.
It's all good. And we sort of already talked about the 50% shade in parking lots. If anybody has any other suggestions for the meeting going forward, anything really, any other things they see within the city of Binghamton that they would like to talk about, we can talk about that. But as far as planning and zoning goes, I think that's all we have for today.
Yeah, I would like to add something to next month's agenda. If you want to get
Sure.
serious about start a citizens pruners or tree tenders or whatever volunteer group, reinstating that. Do that with a separate meeting or during this meeting, or let's see if we can get the ball rolling on that.
Yeah.
I wish
Sure.
Nick was
Yeah,
here,
I agree with Linda. That would be a really cool
and
opportunity.
then maybe
to
we
get
could have something
citizens
happen
involved.
by spring.
And we should have the space here
Right.
at CCE to host those informational sessions and trainings that are needed. And I'm
It came
happy
to
do
mind
that
just last week because a resident sent me a picture of her crab apple tree that was installed a couple of years ago. It really needs to be pruned.
Mhm.
She's like, what do I do with this? So
Yeah, for sure. I'll put that as a note, and I'll talk to Dr. Burling and as well as the Nick from Parks and Rec to
yeah,
see.
if I remember what, how this was structured before, if they can give notes or guidance on that. I will talk to Marissa from Tompkins County who runs their program now.
Okay,
See how that goes.
that sounds like a plan.
And then a small thing, we don't need to put too much time and effort into it. I'm working on a project with the Parks Department and a few other organizations to put in a mounted viewer and some informational signage in MacArthur Park. If anyone has any ideas for trees that would also be nice to be installed, keep that in mind. We were thinking about putting some in, and we're open to any suggestions people might have.
Do you have an inventory of what's there already?
No, I have to go out. I think Nick Ballard was going to get it for me. We just got approval for the signs, and we got approval last month for purchasing the scope. So the plan is before snowfall to have everything installed, but we'll see if bureaucracy allows that.
huh. Shaylin, just one very minor comment about the minutes. I appreciate the respect of calling me Dr. Shepherd all the time, but you can just call me Shepherd in the minutes, okay? Sort
Okay.
of sticks out like a sore thumb, the doctor. So
Okay, no worries.
don't worry about that.
Okay, I got you.
And by the way, we didn't formally approve the minutes, but I approved them. So I mean, I thought they were fine, so thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah,
Thank you,
that's a
Shayla.
that's a good point actually. We should moving next month and beyond. We should approve the minutes and just offer any suggestions that you may have so we can correct them and because they will likely be going up on the city's website. So if
Oh, excellent.
anybody can take a look at them. So try to make a little bit more official.
We appreciate that there are minutes.
Yeah, no worries. Anybody else have any other questions or queries or anything?
Oh,
Okay.
and I did send a link to the group yesterday. There was a grant opportunity that I ran across from the EPA. So
Mhm.
it was all about under-resourced neighborhoods and adding trees.
Oh, nice.
So somebody can take a
Um,
look at that. I didn't really dive into it too deeply, but it was a partnership between municipality and a nonprofit or two nonprofits or educational institute or something. So doing November.
Sana, I did talk with Dr. Burling about planting trees, grant about planting trees on Main Street. She said to talk to Nick Ballard from Parks and Rec. He may have more information on that. She does not have any grants. She's not writing any grants right now for anything, trees related.
Okay.
So, she said to talk to Nick about it. He might have more information on it.
Okay, because she made it sound like the city was going through like a third round or like was gonna try for the third time or something when I spoke with
Yeah,
her. So
I think she said something about that. They had tried it in the past.
I see.
But yeah, Parks and Rec might have something going on, but there's nothing going on from the planning as far as I know.
Okay. I wonder if that EPA grant would be relevant.
I think so. Sounds right.
Yeah,
Let's dig into it.
yeah, I'd be interested in helping. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right. So our next meeting is, as I said in the beginning, it will be November 12th. If there's any other materials to review for the next planning commission meeting, I'll be sure to send it to you all via the email ahead of time. Hopefully not a few days before, like last time. Sorry about that. And yeah, let me know if you'll be able to attend on the 12th, and I'll see you all then.
Good.
Just one more comment, Shaylin.
Sure.
Now that we've talked about 4 Travis Avenue, I would just like, if you would make sure that we hear what the final plan is.
Okay.
In
Yeah,
other
I'll let you know first.
I'd like to know if our recommendations are followed.
Yep.
And
I will likely let you know tomorrow. Actually, they will make the decision tonight. So
Good.
I can even forward you the link to the Zoom, and if you like to participate, just watch the meeting. You're more than welcome to do that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yep, no problem.
Thank you, Shaylin. Appreciate all the help and organization you've been doing on your end.
Yeah, of course, no problem.
Yeah.
Happy to do so. All right, see you,
See you
everyone.
next month.
Yep. See you. Thanks.